Ladies and gentlemen, here's the motherfucking tea.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another My Hero Academia Reviews. I'm your host, Scott or Kaizeneko. That over there is a Grant. Say hi, Grant.
Hello.
And that's a Nick. Or Lani.
I am either of those things.
I say Nick a
Depending
lot.
on who you are.
I say Nick, and he doesn't like it.
I'm more used to being called by my chosen name, sir.
I'll stop dead
Gotta
naming
keep
you.
that branding.
Don't dead name me.
Hey, so I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. I just got back from a camping trip, which was a lot of fun because I'm entomophobic and arachnophobic, and there was nothing but insects everywhere, so yay. Yeah. Also, it was hot as... Holy shit.
Where were you camping?
A little place called Rainbow Ranch, actually, which is about as gay as it sounds.
It sounds pretty gay.
It's actually a family-friendly LGBT oriented campsite about 2 hours south from here. It was really nice. I had a good time.
Nice.
How about you? What'd you guys do this weekend?
I pushed my deadlift max over 240 pounds. That was kind of neat.
Nice.
Hey, nice. I watched some movies that I feel like the rest of the world had seen and I hadn't, like The Shining.
So you saw The Shining. You also saw Arachnophobia, which the rest of the world probably hasn't seen. I feel like
That felt like a little lesser, so I wasn't sure if I should mention it
But
you know.
that being said, I actually haven't seen The Shining, but have seen Arachnophobia.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
The Shining's pretty good. So I'd say still worth seeing.
one of these days, I'll correct the mistake of having seen Arachnophobia and not The Shining.
I'm guessing it's one of those movies that through cultural osmosis you feel like you've seen bits and pieces of it enough that you kind of get it. Like I have movies like that.
I've literally seen every scene from the movie, just not in the order they're supposed to be seen in, unbroken.
I'm the same way with The Godfather Part 2. Seen every scene, just not in order.
Yeah.
Last week I finished The Sopranos, and that makes me want to watch a bunch of mob movies now. So
Sopranos was real good, man. It holds up.
it's very good.
You know, I've heard that. Unfortunately, not one episode of The Sopranos either. I've never seen it.
Oh,
So
That's also one I'd suggest. But that's not what we're here to talk about, is
we
it?
are not. We are here to talk about My Hero Academia and the massive background plot dump they just dropped on us.
yeah. So in this episode, we start out with all the kids and Ojiko's keeping the little toy that she got from Midoriya,
I
and
feel like the animation of her grabbing that toy was like,
over the top.
yeah, that seemed like a lot for that little bit.
There were a lot of parts that I felt that in this episode, actually.
Yeah, there was some weird places where the soccer got hit. But yeah, no, it was a really funny and cute moment that was spectacularly animated for no particularly great reason. Also,
It's a real cute moment too. I love that Ashido is just constantly on the you like him.
oh, she is such a matchmaker.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, she's basically just the audience. The audience's shipping tendencies given form.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really cute. Also, we get to see Bakugo stab Deku in the head with his little hair thing, which was a great visual gag. Splendid visual gag. I love that. Also, a joke that did not translate incredibly well, which was "I'm here with cotton candy," making.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was supposed to be.
That was the one of the times where I'm watching this, and again, it's happened a lot, specifically this season, where I'm like, I wonder how that's gonna be translated in the dub, because that translator, the script writer for that one has their work cut out for them once again, because I can hear the joke in Japanese.
Yeah,
like I see what's happening there with their word puns, but. That's English.
Yeah, it just sounds like I have come in Japanese, but it's I'm making cotton candy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They're probably gonna have to do something like sweet greetings, or like, I don't know. Hope you're having like a sweet day. Sweet making cotton candy. Blah. I don't know.
I believe I forget what they did in the manga. That was a little bit in the manga, so I can't even remember what they did there. But the real meat of this episode is that we find out not only what Kurogiri's whole thing is about, we find out that he's actually directly related to Aizawa and Present Mike, which...
I was waiting for Aizawa's like big backstory drop. I think they teased or outright said at one point that he lost a friend, which is why he's such a hard ass. So I was kind of waiting for that shoe to drop. I was not ready for the Obito moment this episode, though. Just that, there it is. Oh, shit.
Right? Yeah, no, pretty surprising shit. The fun thing is, so in this episode, I want to get this out of the way. We meet Oboro Shirakumo, which, by the way, I forget what the, oh, no, I know. I used to remember what the joke with his name was. But yeah, we don't actually get to see what his quirk is. His quirk is he can ride a cloud. He's actually in his full outfit. He's actually a direct reference to Sung Wukong, and also kind of Goku.
I can see that. He's got that kind of like rough around the edges look to him.
Yeah,
scrappy but very friendly.
And if you look at his hair, it's like looks like a cloud. So like, yeah, his whole thing is that he can ride a cloud.
But yeah, man, that whole scene, once they sat down in there, because I was enjoying the episode up until that point, but then bam, they hit you with the 1-2 punch of, oh, by the way, Nomus are dead people that have been like had a bunch of quirks shoved into them.
Yep.
And also, this is your old best friend, and now we need you to, shake him so that we can see what's going on there. And that whole scene with like the brain scan, where like. It's such a beautiful representation of like, boop, boop, boop. Oh, they touched something there.
There's something here.
Yeah, the fact that his brainwaves would throw anomalies when he's being talked to is like, oh, that's interesting. That's really neat.
I mean, for me, kind of the reveal that this is their buddy from the past is crazy, but like just the initial reveal of like, oh, this guy who I thought was like a high-ranking person in the League of Villains is a Nomu. Like it's just like,
yeah, that too.
Like he is an automaton. He is not a person. He is just a literal machine, basically, whose goal is to protect what's his name?
Shigaraki, thank you. Yeah, he's just a meat robot.
So I have to say, I wonder if that was Horikoshi's plan from the beginning. I would be surprised, actually, genuinely surprised, if that was actually his plan from the very beginning. Because the way that Kurogiri reacts and responds and acts is seems very much dedicated to Shigaraki, but he seems like he's dedicated because he is dedicated to All for One more than anything.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of the thing. He's
untrue,
he's beholden to All for One. Like, All for One is the one that's essentially controls him and made him, so he sees him in not necessarily this fatherly role, but this creator, this master role. And his last missive towards him was like, hey, take care of Shigaraki, I'm gonna be out for a bit.
Right,
here's where the rest of the plan kicks in. So I feel that's where that is.
By the way, so I was right on something, and I just wanted to double check. Shirakumo is White Cloud, Kurogiri is Black Mist. So
okay,
yeah,
okay.
Horikoshi getting real literal with his naming conventions there. But yeah, so I remember reading this the first time and like, holy fucking, okay, just gonna drop that on us out of nowhere. No, I feel like it's very little in terms of foreshadowing. Also, just, yeah, they were the three... the three dumbigos.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, because I was trying to listen to the Japanese there to figure out, like, because I was like, are they saying like dumb bingos? Because that's such a strange specific thing. But I think was it like Baka and Nakama was what they were kind of.
Oh, Bakama would be so good. I wonder if that is what they went with.
That would be pretty great.
Yeah. But yeah. Finding out that yes, Nomus are people, and turns out this one's a good old friend. And yeah, you're right. The whole sequence where they're trying to... Actually, I think my actual favorite sequence, the one that hits the hardest for me, is when they're sitting across from him, and Aizawa asks, have you contacted the family yet? Mm-hmm. And he's just like, we're going to bring them in after you if you can't actually pull anything out of them.
Yeah, I can't let his mom see him like this.
Yeah. Aizawa's response is perfect, because he's like, fuck. Part of being a hero is making sure that his family never sees this. because
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because he sees this whole situation as a personal failure to begin with.
Yeah. And this is such a horrible moment for him, like in every regard. What a fucked up situation to be in.
Lots of good face stuff with Aizawa as you just see him kind of like coming to terms with what he's seeing, realizing what he's gonna have to do.
Yeah,
and then
covering
just be
his.
and I can't make this stop me. I can't let this be too much.
And
he needs to keep staring at him, otherwise he'll teleport away.
No, he's just doing that. Like, I don't think that had anything to do with it. He can't teleport when he's locked up like that.
I thought they said specifically that they kept him sedated so that he wouldn't, like, they kept him unconscious.
Hold on. Is that? You might be right.
At least in the subtitles, that's what it said.
Well, they said they could talk to him, and he would shut down if they asked anything about like league activity. But they do also mention we're keeping him sedated to keep him from getting away. So I don't know if it's we can kind of contain him, but if he gets too rowdy, he's out of here.
So maybe it was a case where, like, okay, we are, lightening up on the drugs for this because Aizawa's here and can keep him contained.
Okay, you know what? I might have actually missed that. Which, whenever I miss something like that, I feel like a bigger idiot because now I've read it and watched it and I still missed it.
It's okay. I miss a lot of things, including most names.
Yeah. But yeah, so that whole scene is really tense. And the moment he starts breaking and like trying to talk, and then when you see his face, it's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when his soul is just trying to rip its way free, and you get that glimmer of hope, like, no, he's in there somewhere. We can get him back.
This gives like kind of a weird, because we have had heroes killing Nomus, Nomus kind of I feel like they're sort of there just as like we can have our heroes actually kill somebody here or use their powers. Like this is a threat that needs to be completely stopped. But now that we've got this kind of revelation, I wonder if there's like any ramifications with that, any thought anywhere of like, oh geez, like, yeah, these things have been kind of like had their, personalities, and they are remains, they are dead people. But clearly there's still some of this friend in here that we remember. So how much of that has been in other Nomus that we've killed?
I think there are very specific situations. We've only seen really 2 intelligent Nomus at this point. The one that's Endeavor killed, and of course this guy. The one that All Might fought and just kind of like knocked out of the ring. Maybe it was kind of up there, but it was clearly brain dead. And a vast majority of them have just kind of been mindless machines. In anime terms, once again, kind of drawing a comparison to Naruto, if we get to that war arc, these guys are basically just going to be various versions of the white Zetsus that they all fought. And then there are going to be a couple of special ones that are like heroes from the past that this guy, you remember him? Oh, he's tied in with your backstory. You're going to get those.
Now I'm okay. I'm going into speculating mode. Scott, I'm not going to look at your face. But now I'm just thinking, like, is there going to be like 11th hour, like, oh, I've brought All Might's mentor lady, but I've turned her into a Nomu, Deku. Fight your master's master kind of situations and things like that. I could definitely see them setting things up like that at some point.
Yeah, I can see lots of things like that happening in the upcoming hero villain war arc.
I feel like the worst part about you like positing that is that I cannot say one way or the other how I could feel about it, because
you can't go, that doesn't happen, because that's also like just
because that's also a spoiler. You're right. But oh gosh, what were we talking about?
Nomus.
Well, yeah.
But man, that whole sequence was just done so well between the music and the editing composition, the animation. I ended up like literally on the edge of my seat, just like, holy shit, like, how is this going? Because it, like, the stakes just kept getting higher and higher, and like the anime does such a good job at times. This might be my favorite episode this season. It does such a good job at times of translating what was in the manga to something that is just so visually appealing as media.
Sorry, I was gonna say, like, it's like I've been saying, and it's why I've been while this season itself has had some ups and, well, pretty bad downs, the direction for me has always been on point. Like, I legitimately just think that this is one of the better looking, better shot or directed, like, I just like how the season has looked and felt. It's just really frustrating that because of what they needed to do / wanted to do, things got so messy. Which, funny enough, so we're clear, it's finally fucking happening.
Yeah, we're getting the flashback to My Villain Academia.
Yes.
That's great.
I'm excited for. I've been kind of wanting to see this arc for a bit.
Yeah,
This is the show I would watch if My Hero Academia and My Villain Academia were like two separate shows airing at the same time.
I'm very interesting. I'm very interesting. I'm very
You
interested.
are very interesting.
Aw,
I
thank
didn't
you.
want to tell you, but
I am very interested to see how they adapt it, considering that for me, it's one of my favorite arcs, and it's not even. It's like it's got a lot of great moments in it, but just the fact that it's such a departure from literally everything beforehand. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just. I hope they give it. I do hope they do it justice. I know that they've got a lot to cover, so expect some really action, like really packed episodes for the next 6.
this also gives us like a much bigger insight, I think, into what the League of Villains has been sort of leading to. Like we've known about the Nomus and everything. We've kind of had an idea of like, okay, they're building like super soldiers, but I don't think the idea of like, and now we're going to do that to like, it's at least how it feels like it's implied at the end of that episode. It seems like they're force feeding Shigaraki powers, and that's a terrifying concept because that guy's already scary. And giving that imbalanced, I feel like they've always shown him as like just a kind of just like a kid who is like being given all of these powers by an evil genius, and it's just like that seems like a bad cocktail coming out of that.
Even experimented on, because like the scene we see at the very end there, it's horrifying. He's just sitting there convulsing with this electricity as the doctor that diagnosed Deku with not having a quirk.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was the same dude.
That's the same dude.
Okay, good, because I feel like this was probably something I got spoiled on forever ago and just thought was a theory, but like I saw people be like, yeah, the doctor is actually a villain.
Yeah,
like,
I got spoiled on that during the last movie because he showed up as a character as the dude that made, what was his name, 5 or something, 11.
Oh, did we see him in that?
Yeah, he was in the movie.
Oh yeah, he was absolutely in the movie. So
and Kaiser pointed out after me that was the doctor that diagnosed Deku. I'm like, huh, that's fucking weird.
Which it's not that much of a spoiler. He's only ever had one scene. It's more just like a really funny, cool, like weird callback. Like he probably didn't have to make it that doctor, but there was probably a bunch of like people talking about it. Like, what if that doctor was a bad guy? And he was like, fuck, I'll just make him a bad guy. Funny enough.
Now I'm wondering how many fan theories there are out there that this doctor somehow had the ability to take people's quirks and he stole Deku's whatever original quirk.
That is 100% a theory that went around for a long time.
But then how do you explain Deku's crazy, stupid 5th toe? So,
Yeah, no, that his stupid regular pinky toe. What a
the
freak.
thing is, this doctor has a non-quirk X-ray at the ready whenever he finds a patient that he's like, that's a quirk we're going to want to steal. So let's take that. And then, sorry, your son can't have a quirk.
I want this kid's telekinetic fire breathing or whatever.
Yeah. He can move things with his mind and make them incredibly hot.
That would be really interesting. Like that's such a the idea that then again, like I also feel like that would make Deku I guess it wouldn't.
Special.
Yeah, like I like the idea. Personally, I like the idea that no, he just never had one, and that's just how it was for him.
And that's I do think that
Thematically,
is better. Otherwise, you might end up with that Naruto situation of, oh no, I stole his quirk because it was the best, and somehow it's manifesting again.
But yeah. Anything else that we want to talk about with this particular episode? Because honestly, I'm just not even sure exactly how much detail I even need to go over this one with. It was just a really solid episode, fantastically directed, dark as hell.
Yeah. I appreciated the darkness in this episode. It fed my soul in a horrible way.
In an evil way.
Yeah, I did find it funny that Present Mike, who has always been seen as like, the charismatic guy, the mouthpiece, was basically shut up throughout that entire scene, just because Aizawa is actually better at reading people and is actually a way better teacher.
I love the fact that he was freaking the fuck out to the point where he had to keep grabbing Aizawa and say, "Calm down." No, hey, calm. Like looking at him, calm down.
And we had that great Mustang moment at the end. It's like, are you okay? My eyes are unbearably dry.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh man.
What a horrible day for rain.
I would just need to make one thing. I just need to make a fucking terrible scene where Kirogiri's like, "Dry eyes, try clear eyes."
There were two parts that kind of stuck out to me. One, Gran Torino refers to Present Mike as DJ. I don't understand if that's like a nickname he has somewhere that I've just completely forgotten, or if this was just a weird off thing for him to say. But like it is like
real name.
Like even in Japanese, I hear it. He calls him DJ, and like his hero name is Present Mike. They say his actual name in the episode a couple times, and D and J are not his initials or anything. So it was just like an odd, like, has he been a DJ? Is he a DJ? Is that why he's referring to him like that?
Does he jockey the discs?
But the other thing that stuck out to me is this kind of gives us background on Aizawa's infamous like expelling his students.
Yes.
I was kind of disappointed though that like it's actually he expels them and lets them re-enroll and basically do the same thing. It's just sort of a lesson, but that to me kind of undercuts it. I really liked the idea of Aizawa being this hard ass, like, you're gonna go out there and die. I'm not gonna let you do that. You're not a hero, and like you should do other things. Like,
I think
it feels a little disingenuous that it's just like I make them quit so they know that they could die, and they have mark on their thing.
Yeah, I do think from the angle of he doesn't want to like stop them from pursuing their goals, but he needs them to know that this shit's serious. If you want to do this, you're going to have to pass my test. And now we also know why class 2, the second year, has like no standouts. But,
damn.
So, those that did decide to re-enroll are like, no, I'm serious about this. And you got that kind of small little thing like, but what he did, made us refocus and try harder. So those of us that came back and did it and actually made it in here, we're really serious about being heroes, even though we'll never hear anything about anybody in the second year.
That one dude looked like a cool beetle. I want to know what he does.
I don't think it hurt it for me. If anything, it kind of just fleshes out Aizawa more, because the whole I'm a dick enough to just like expel a bunch of people who worked so hard to get in here, always just sort of like, I feel like that was Horikoshi sort of overselling the kind of hard ass he is. That kind of teacher I don't think that sort of teacher is actually productive to making a better hero society.
It doesn't help that it is yet another parallel to Naruto, where Kakashi was such a hard ass because he lost Obito in a mission. And they're all basically tropes of anime, but when they're painted so hard, it's hard not to notice the parallels.
This is admittedly also very much in line with how he was like, whoever gets the worst score in this fails my class and is gone. And then like that didn't happen at all. And he was just like, oh, I was just joking. Like, so it kind of does work with all of that too.
That happens in a lot of anime though. I mean, obviously it happened with Kakashi and the bell training. It happened with Genkai and Yusuke and the time limit for getting to that tree. But this person surprises me. Okay, I want to see what they got. Let's keep going. Yeah.
And it's I don't know. It didn't bother me so much. It did feel a little bit like, honestly, there are a couple things in this episode, very specifically, that did feel a little bit like some retro oh god, what's the term for it?
Retcon?
Retconning, yeah. A little bit of retconning throughout, actually. But it's fine. It does shed a lot of light on the characters. It does a lot to expand on them, which I think is important. I think if you're gonna retcon something, do it in service of the story, which I think it did personally.
Yeah. Overall, favorite episode this season so far, even just on a standalone basis.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Like
I don't know if I'd say that, but it was very good.
I
can't think of an episode I'd put above it, but I don't want to commit to it.
I mean, when it comes to individual episodes of anime like this, it's always kind of difficult to find the one that I think is like, oh yeah, this is the stand-out episode. I don't know about that, but I will say, yeah, it's a very solid episode in general. And again, like I've said before, I'm really enjoying just how this whole season's been directed. Oh well, we're getting to the part that I've been waiting for.
Something I just remembered that we didn't talk about. Ida had a pretty good moment right at the beginning of this, leading the class, being in charge, and then immediately shifting into kind of goofy gear. It was just kind of fun to see him again. I feel like he really hasn't gotten to do much this season other than his one fight.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice to pop back into the. It also felt like it had been forever since we'd actually seen them in the classroom, because I don't know what it was, like if maybe just like kind of like all of these things happening side by side. But it was like we kind of started the season, they were sort of immediately into their field test with Class B, and then it was like, and we right after that went straight into the work studies. So it's like we have not seen them at like in school. It feels like in a second.
No, that's true.
You make a great point there, because I remember when I was watching that scene, I'm like, oh man, I can definitely see Police Chief Ida, like him just like ushering out, like, you need to go there, and just letting like the people that are better than him at stuff do the things that they need to do while he's running his support role in a leadership position. Mm-hmm. I really liked that too.
He's not only quick on his feet, he's a quick thinker.
Yeah, it is interesting seeing people develop their specialization as we move forward. I hope to see more of that with some of the other characters, especially the ones that are really in the background. I mean, there are some that I couldn't care less about. Coda is just kind of forever background character, unfortunately, when it comes to the class.
Yeah.
What they need to do is give him an Akamaru. He needs a pet. Then all of a sudden he will have like personality.
Yeah, then he can have a filler arc.
He just has a pet jaguar that follows him around, and everyone's like freaked out by it, but the jaguar is like just super chill. No, that would be honestly. I suspect that if you were to get like a companion, it would probably be something like an eagle or a hawk or a falcon.
Yeah, a bird would be good.
Yes, mostly because he seems to utilize birds a lot for reconnaissance and stuff like that. So I can see that being. Just make it Tokoyami. Yeah, exactly.
No, it doesn't have to be Tokoyami, but it should be a large black hawk that has it's just Tokoyami's face.
And Tokoyami's really weirded out by it.
Just looks exactly like him.
No, it's like Tokiyami's like afraid of him or something. Turns out he's got some phobia of like wild animals.
Oh right, he does have a pet rabbit. Yeah, I kind of thought he did. Yeah, he's got a pet rabbit.
Well, see, he needs to train that rabbit for combat.
Yeah, there you go.
Combat rabbit. No, well, look, we've already got a combat rabbit. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But hey,
true enough. High on the leaderboards.
Next week starts My Villain Academia, and I hope y'all are psyched. I'm psyched.
Do you think they'll change the opening?
No. I don't.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm really.
I was kind of hoping they'd pull a JoJo and just do like a special thing for the last few episodes.
If they do that, that would be pretty nuts. I'm already not a fan of this opening, so I'm 100%.
That's kind of why I'd love them to do it.
Yeah, I would be 1,000,000% okay with them doing a special opening for this arc, but unfortunately,
whoa, it's all bad.
It's all wrong.
Everything is going wrong.
We've already seen that there's bits with the villains and what's it called? The Liberation. Yeah, and the Liberation folks. They're already in the opening, so you're not going to see probably a new opening. They've already got them technically covered, which again. I'm glad they were there because that gave me hope that, hey, we'll get it this season. But it also means, we're definitely not going to get a third.
Speaking of the Liberation stuff, so one of the only things that they do get out of Kurogiri is he says hospital as one of the last things. And that kind of cuts over to Hawks hearing that they know about the hospital or something and trying to play it off as like, I'm too busy. Sorry, bye-bye. And
The look on his face is so good.
yeah, great moment with Twice where he's like, "Get me a coffee. I want it black, but also extra cream and sugar."
You got it, buddy.
And-
I do
bit-
love seeing him interact just on such a friendly level with these monsters.
By the way, that bit never gets old for me. I
yeah,
thought
I
it
love
would. I thought I'd hate the whole he's gonna say one thing and another. Nope, never gets not funny. I
After
told a
all,
lie.
I'm the number 2 hero. That's impressive, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But it was really cool to see Hawks like kind of play it off casually. Then like as he kind of walks out, it just zooms in on his like psyched face, and he's like, "All right, all the pieces are in place. They know everything they need to know. Let's friggin' go!" And
Yeah.
so great that we're gonna pull the clock back a couple weeks or whatever.
And then
right after that
season
moment,
6 will get this war thing
but-
going.
yeah.
But yeah, until then, what was let's see. Usually we ask for something in the comments. What do we want to ask this time? What do we want to ask the people?
What do you guys want to be asked this time? Let us know in the comments below.
There you go. Exactly. That's it.
What would be your favorite My Hero question?
And yeah, we'll be back next week for My Villain Academia. Everybody, stay safe, be well, and yeah, just take care. All right.
Okay.